I wanted to bring you in and kind of get you to be here with us as we talk about our show this evening. This evening, I have a special guest, as you can well imagine. My special guest this evening is Schantel Thomas. Schantel is a singer songwriter based just out of Houston. And Chantel is going to tell us about her experiences in faith. And she's also going to tell us how she navigates the world of being a secular artist as well as being a faith based artist. So, for those of you who are joining us later on, we'll have it on Spotify as well as on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and wherever your favorite platform, podcast platform is. I'm sorry, I had that light turned on. Hey, everybody. Thanks so much, my friends on Periscope and my friends on Twitter. Let's see what folks are saying. Are you all ready for this? I have an amazing smile. Well, that's a turnaround from yesterday. Yesterday, I was being pilloried and called all kinds of names. And now, are you all going to be mad because I'm practically putting on? I wish Chantel could see this. I'm applying. I guess they're going to say Rita Show host applied her lip gloss on camera. That's part of it. So let me tell you a little bit about my special guest this evening. Her name is Schantel Thomas, and she is an R&B gospel singer based somewhere out of Houston. She's going to tell us how she got her start in the music industry and how she navigates being both a secular and faith-based artist in today's musical game. Isn't that something? I want to know how to navigate that myself. And she'll also tell us what her current projects are and how she writes her songs from the heart. She's also going to tell you that we got together. We've known each other for some 8-9 years now. It's a long time in coming. So, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together as we welcome Miss Schantel Thomas. Hey, girlfriend.
Hey, how you doing?
I am well. And you?
I am well and warm.
Oh, well, lucky for you. Isn't that the coolest thing? That is so cool because here in Michigan, as you know, we're in the Midwest. So this morning it was 37 and it's not quite the end of October yet. So we knew it was going to get cold really early because guess what? It was the middle of August and it started cooling down like the summer just shut off. One week it was 90 degrees and the next week it was 70. And then we were like, wait, no. And then by the end of August, you barely could wear flip flops. It was getting cool. So by the time September started, we were like, okay, we were resigned to it. So they say we're going to have a few flakes, snowflakes next week. So it looks like it's going to be a snowy Halloween around here. God help us all. So for those of us here, we start wearing boots real early. So for those of you in the South who like to wear your leather boots and so on, babes, we're past the leather boot stage at this point. We're wearing UGG again. Our UGGs are on. Because it got cold really quickly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we could still kind of get away with some flip flops sometimes. I'm not sure from this day. Let me just put back up and say I am not sure because this day we are in our 40s here in Texas, and so I'm not quite sure. And this week is we're gonna be in our 40s and possibly 50s. So I don't know.
I don't know.
It's kind of iffy here.
It's kind of iffy because I can't imagine Texas being so far south would be in the 40s this early.
Yeah.
It's a little early. But for those of us here in the Midwest, our summer tan is on its way out. We just call it what it is. You know what I mean? It's like summer. Whew, when was that? I mean, one week it was raging hot. And then the next week it was like I was using my AC. The next week we had condensation on the cars in the morning. But anyway, it is what it is. So Chantel, tell us how you got started in the music industry.
Well, I have been this has been my passion for so long. When I
Mm-hmm.
was younger,
Mm-hmm.
I really love to sing. And just to fast forward, when I was in got stationed in Virginia,
Uh-huh.
part of military, got stationed in Virginia, and my minister, my pastor, I should say, noticed the gift right away, and he started connecting me with different people that um, could get me into studios and different things like that. So that's where my music that I used to write every day turned into production. And I finally had the opportunity to see, or to hear, I should say, my music along with music production in Virginia,
Mm-hmm.
2004.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my first time. Yeah, putting those two together and listening to it. Just amazed at how I could hear my music and the words that I wrote to production. It was just amazing. It was so amazing. So that's how I got started in recording. But as far as writing, I've been writing since I was young. And I don't want to say how young, because that is how I am. But since I was younger, I had been writing music and poetry and short stories and different things like that. So it's always a passion.
Wow.
So that's how I got started. Yeah.
That was so like most gospel singers and most R&B singers, you got started in church.
Yes.
Mm.
Started in church, always in a group or in a choir. From here to Germany, I was always connected with a group or a choir, and so that
Wow.
was my, platform that
Mm-hmm.
was so, I was really thankful to be a part of earlier on, so I could get a feel of how that feels to be on a stage or in front of people. Got used to singing and not be so nervous and not know what to do. So that was just my platform that I was afforded as a young person.
That was great. That was great, though. But let me ask you this: in today's, what advice would you have for any artist today, especially young artists, because you are at that intersection of secular and faith music? How do you navigate that? I mean, how are you able to do that? And what would you tell an aspiring artist today?
Now I have to I guess excuse me, make a correction. I'm not a secular singer, but my music um, is different. It's not the traditional gospel music. So what I do is I connect my life and the things that I go through, and not just make it a generalized song that everybody, that we normally hear. We normally hear the generalized song, "You're going to be healed." Yes, we are going to be healed, but where are you getting healed from? My thing
Mm.
was, I'm going to be open and share how you could be healed from depression, how you can be in a situation that we all can relate to, that's relatable.
Uh-huh.
So instead of making general, that's how I relate my life into my music.
Okay.
So
So
yeah,
so your music is sort of like crossover. So it can have general appeal, is what you're saying.
yes, absolutely,
Crossover.
absolutely,
Crossover. Contemporary Christian crossover. Right?
yes,
Contemporary Christian.
yes,
And to be honest with you, there is a market for that. And a lot of, because
yes,
some people, especially today's generation, for instance, we've lost a whole generation, millennials, for instance, and Generation Z, many of whom never grew up in church, so they'll never know
yes,
what being in a traditional church setting is like. They will just hear a
yes,
song that resonates with their experiences, and then they can identify with it. You see what I mean?
absolutely, yes,
As a matter of
absolutely,
fact, I think it was Amy Grant and can't remember the name of the guy
yes,
who started this crossover music where you hear a song,
yes,
it sounds like it's something you can relate to and identify with, and then all
yes,
of a sudden you find yourself nodding to it. Then you realize that, oh, it's a Christian song. Oh well, I like the song anyway.
yes. That's exactly what it is. And as a matter of fact, as a young person, followed Amy Grant. I was a huge fan of hers, and
Mm-hmm.
then we had Amy Grant and a lot of different other people
Mm-hmm.
in the industry that were crossovers. So
Mm-hmm.
it made it like stuff from Kirk Franklin and different things made it into the secular world.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing was I can't reach people inside the church because they're inside the church. Who do I reach? The people that are not in the church. And that's always my focal point when I wrote music is how can I make it with the people who are not going to church
Right.
all the time or in traditional settings. How can I draw them
Right.
into what I'm doing? And they are.
And how do you do that? How do you draw? You use your music to draw them into what you're saying.
My words are nice, and I've always spoke like, but the beat of the words, it kind of, we get drawn in by the beat of music. Even when you're in church, you'll hear a beat, and everybody's like, oh yeah, they are so familiarized with the beat.
Right, that's true.
You have the words.
That's true. You all know that is true. It's the beat.
Yeah, you'll drag them in.
It's the beats.
Yes, and then they're like, wait a minute, was the beat the word? And a prime example, I had a show. I was at a show, and I sung one of my songs, and so a guy who was on the outside, I guess he was working the stage. Once it was over, he pulled me to the side and said, "Your music," he said, "you would never know until you start listening to the words." He said, "You drew me in by that beat."
It's the beat, people.
And once you drew me in,
it's the beat.
Yeah, the beat.
It's the beat.
And then he said that, but the words, that's what
Get
changed.
the beat.
It made a difference with those words. The beat.
Yeah, it's the beat. It's in the beat. It's the beat. You know something? You have a single. So, True Confessions. Schantel and I connected about 8 or 9 years ago when my third book, Through the Fire, had come out. She hosts her own radio show. I don't know why she's being so shy and modest. She hosts her own radio show, No More Silent Tears. And she invited me to talk about my book. And she actually has a single of that name. And if you ever get a chance to, I think you're still on Apple Music, right?
Yeah.
You're still on Apple Music because I had downloaded it last year again. Go to Apple Music and look up Schantel Thomas and listen to No More Silent Tears. And the beat is going to suck you in. The beat draws you in, and you're able to to share with others what it is. So what are you currently working on right now?
Oh, so since we're speaking about the beat.
The beat. It's all in the beat. You just came out of the studio. I love that. Don't you love an artist who's talking about the studio? I'm watching this thing on Netflix. But talking this and that though, Schantel, I'm watching this thing on Netflix called Skylines, right? It's based in France, or I think it's Germany. I can't tell because they have dubbed it over with English words. So I'm not sure. I can't hear. I think it's Germany. And it's about Arabs, right? Who live in Germany, right? And who are playing rap music. Y'all need to go check that out. It's called Skylines. It's on Netflix, right? And it's not the first or second time that I've come across a foreign film where American rap music, what we call rap today, American rap music has this vast influence worldwide. I mean, they have a whole industry over there that specializes in rap music, just like here. They sound just like the rappers here. They make the same movements, the same lifestyle that is, huge and out of this world. They have the same rhythm. And talk about the beat. It's the beat, people. The music, it's the beat. Trust me, because they're playing the beat, Schantel, and they had me there, trying to get ready to come on the show. And I was like, I'm into this beat. As a matter of fact, I have it frozen on my TV screen because when the show is done, I'm going to go back to it. It's Skylines. Check it out. So we were talking about your music. So what are you currently working on?
I am currently working on a single called I Love Loving You. And, mind you, in the beginning, we were talking about how my music is relatable to just anybody's situation. So this song is actually, I am incorporating how I love my husband and my children and how I take care of them, as well as love the Lord and work and you know what I mean, just the things that I'm doing. So it's actually an outline of my life.
Really?
And I love it. Yes, I'm excited about it. So I love it.
I'm excited too. To
And
love.
yes, I'm excited. We'll be in the studio in the beginning of November to finish the song, and it'll be on all major platforms. So I'm excited about it.
That's great.
You know, I'm always in that studio.
Always in a studio. You still do your show, No More Silent Tears, right?
I am still doing the show, No More Silent Tears. We are getting ready to do podcasts with it. So that's where I'm at now with No More Silent Tears. But yes, we have, we want to broaden our reach. And plus, I've gotten extremely, I am everywhere now. You know, I'm teaching, mentoring the kids at the school with No More Silent Tears. And then doing a lot of other stuff in the community. And so I decided to do the podcast with No More Silent Tears, and we can take off from there. But yeah, I'm excited about it. It's just a whole different season that I'm in, and where I'm going with it. It's just broadening every aspect of No More Silent Tears and me as an artist, and just me being there in the spaces of present in today, instead of behind the scene all the time. Now I get to get out and really shake some hands and hold and hug and embrace some young girls and empower them to be the best that they can be. So it's just amazing, this season of where I'm at today.
That's interesting because you start off from No More Silent Tears, one beat, one track, and now you have a whole platform dedicated to that. And this is what we're all talking about. That for those of us out there, if you have a dream and if you haven't started yet, this is your calling card. This is your moment to get started, because you never know where it's going to take you. I know the journey, it's about a journey. People, it's about a journey. Don't listen to the quick shot stories where you see them glamorized on the pages of magazines and on TV, and they make you think that this has always been the face of me, and this is always how I have looked. It's not. Start somewhere. Don't just sit there. You have a gift, you have a talent, you have something. Start somewhere. You never know how far it's going to take you and where it will take you. It's all about the journey. Don't worry about the destination. Focus on the journey, learning the lessons, and keep on going. So we can hear your music on all major platforms right now, all the streaming services.
Yes, everywhere.
Everywhere. Okay.
Spotify,
Wow.
Spotify, Apple, Google, YouTube, just everywhere that you can.
Wow.
Upload and purchase. Yeah.
That's amazing, sis. That's amazing. I kid you not. I say this all the time. I'm an unsophisticated country girl alone in the big bad world, and I am forever amazed at when somebody tells me that they heard me. When I was on traditional radio and people would tell me they heard me, sometimes it would make me, I would literally forget, because I keep thinking I'm that little girl who had a dream and didn't know how it was going to work out, but had faith in God that He was going to take me places that I could never dream of. And I kid you not, I live to see it happen. It has not always been easy. I have been beaten and battered along the way. I mean, my daughter Alexandra is a writer, and she has a blog. You should all go check it out, Alex in Wonderland, right? And she featured, I'm going to ask her, maybe she should feature your song, but she wrote about, I think for her book of the month, my book Through the Fire was chosen. And I kid you not, y'all, when she wrote a synopsis, because she's now a lawyer, right? So when she wrote a synopsis of the book and I read it this morning, I burst into tears. I kid you not. I burst into tears because of how she analyzed it and how she put it into context. So you never know where, the point I'm making is, do it anyways. For most of us, the journey was not easy. We didn't get here. Schantel will tell you that even though she started in a church, she wasn't always like this. You want to tell us, you give us about 2 minutes of what really happened that made you Schantel Thomas.
Yeah, I was a victim of abuse very early on, and 15 years later, I still suffered inwardly, and just needed to find out how can I release what I was holding in for so long. And I started just talking to different people, different other victims, and different other people who took my story and started to utilize it as far as helping other people and other individuals. And so that's where it began. I didn't know from A to B where I was going. I just knew I needed to say something.
Mm-hmm.
And so it started for me just trusting God like that, to say something. That's where it started, just to talk, to speak, and to speak it out. And so if we really think about it, every time that we release something, it'll allow God to put something else in us.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to release all of that stuff that we hold on to that takes up a lot of room in our daily lives, in our mental, in our spiritual. Release those things so that we can have some input of something, something so strong and powerful, and we can empower other people through our story. And so that's what happened in a short little synopsis of my own. That's what happened, and that's how I ended up where I'm at now today.
Well, God bless you for that. That's an interesting and empowering story. It always amazes me how people start with nothing. And I think there's a song that says we come from nothing to something.
Yes.
And you have to give thanks for the process. I don't know about you. I don't know who this is for, but give thanks for the process. Because the process is what made you. The process refined you. And the process has taken out all that stuff, all the hurt, the pain, all that stuff. So that when people hear you and see you, all they can say is glory. The process is worth it. It's worth it. You're gonna look back on it and say it was worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it.
Definitely.
Always. So where can we find you, Schantel? If somebody wants your music, Schantel Thomas is our special guest. Where can we find you? Where can we find your music and more information about you?
Yes. If you are on IG, my IG, my handle is I am Schantel Thomas on IG.
Mm-hmm.
On Twitter, it is I am Schantel Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
And on Facebook, it is Schantel Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to go find the music on Google, Apple, all of those platforms, it is under Schantel Thomas or Schantel.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a reason behind that, but you can find me on either or with both my last name and my first and last name, or my first name. So that's how you will be able to reach out to me. And I know I do answer on Facebook on that fan page if you have any questions. Also, No More Silent Tears is a platform for domestic violence, and I do reach back out to me. I've helped numerous of people on that page, so that's a Facebook page.
Wow. Well, Schantel Thomas, we heard your story and we are empowered by it. Before you go, I need you to tell somebody. I need you to speak into someone and encourage someone who might just be ready to quit. A few days ago, I talked about freelancing and how the economy has shifted into a gig economy because it's about money nowadays and people don't want to hire people and pay people money, right? And give people benefits so you can live normally. The society has become more amoral than moral. And one young man on my feed said he's 28 years old. He's married with a child, has a degree, and can't find work. And he was ready to give up at 28. We're not talking about somebody at 58 who has lived and sent the child to college. This is 28 years old. If you could, Schantel, I want you to encourage someone so that they can hear that there is hope somewhere. Sometimes that's all we have is hope.
Yes, if you're out there and you're listening in and you feel like this is the last straw and this is the only way out is to give up and throw in the towel, to do something really that lasts for eternity, that's bad. You don't have to go that far. All you have to do is wait. Wait on your time. And sometimes we want to rush our process. We want to rush the time, but God is He offers time. And so he knows what you're going through. He knows he's not going to give you no more than you can handle. But I understand the tears. I've been there. But I'm telling you to hold on. Hold on. Do not give up. Because just the next day, just the next hour, even after you get off your knees or crying, God could bless you just like that. Don't give up. This is not the time to give in. This is not the time to let go. Someone is watching you and they need you to be the difference, to make the difference. Change the narrative of your life and hold on.
Ah, amen to that, sister. Well, we want to say thank you to Schantel Thomas for speaking hope and encouragement into our lives. Thank you so much, Schantel. Thanks so much, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a good evening and thank you for being with us. This show will be uploaded to the other platforms and I'll let you know and so on. Thank you so much. Be blessed. Love you.
Thank you. Love you too.
Well, everybody, you heard that, right? And I just thought I'm kind of piggybacking on Chantel's conversation with us because all of us have our moments. All of us have moments when we feel like quitting, when we feel like giving up. Everybody. It's common to the human experience. And it's an experience that's common to mankind. All of us as human beings go through these moments when we question our very existence. We wonder why things are not working the way that they should, why things have not worked the way they are programmed to work. Why are we not achieving the success, even if it's short term success, that we need to continue to enjoy life? Everyone wants a meaningful life and wants a life that's productive and fruitful. And when there are opportunities, everyone wants an equal distribution of the opportunities. And when those things do not happen, even when we have faith, even when you have said the prayers, even when you have done everything that you can do, you went to school, you got the degree, you showed up at the producers, you produced, you did the overtime, the undertime, the overtime, you're overemployed, underemployed, you've done all the degrees, you've done everything, and still not see success, I encourage you to not give up. I encourage you to don't give up, don't stop, keep doing what you're doing. Sometimes we've, had to take a step back and re-examine what we're doing. And I've often found anytime I take a step back, then I look at it and I'm like, maybe I can do it a different way. But what it does is it makes me see it from a different perspective. And then I go back at it refreshed. Sometimes just take a break. And when you've done all of that, just wait for it. It will come. It takes longer for some of us. Some people like to make you feel that they have instant success. Look at my face. This is not microwave, so you can put it in there and zing. But when it comes, it's worth it, right? So don't quit, my friends. Don't give up. This is Harriet Cammock with Down to Earth. Just a short story to stop by this evening and to encourage you all to continue to do what you're doing and don't quit. You will leave a mark. You will leave a legacy. And while you are here, celebrate. We will still celebrate with you. Thank you so much for joining us. And join us again on Down to Earth. Join us again on Down to Earth as we continue to bring you artists and to bring you interesting people and interesting stories that are the bane of our existence. It is amazing to me. It's Friday evening and most people are probably at a bar somewhere, right? Most people are probably just chilling, trying to forget the week that was. Most people are having a drink. Some people are even going to end up in beds where they shouldn't be tonight. God help us all. People are busy making calls, arranging booty calls with people they should not be with, all in an effort to stave off loneliness, stave off feeling alone, or just to share with someone. Life gets lonely and the journey gets lonely, and sometimes you just feel compressed and compacted, and you want someone to share it with. It's Friday night. Don't jump into the wrong bed. Don't pick up the phone and text or call someone whom you really don't want to be with. But loneliness and aloneness is forcing you to, or compelling you, I should say, to feel as if this is something that you should do, right? I encourage you to make sure that you stay tuned and to keep in tune with what you need to do. It's amazing to me how I can put my headphones back on. Right? But it's amazing to me how we sometimes, it's so easy to lose sight of what matters. It's so easy to forget what is important. And I just want to say, encourage someone out there. I know it's Friday evening and you're like, man, I don't want to listen to this lady on Twitter telling me something. I just want to go get my groove on. I could be down at the club with my friends. Some people are even at the, here in Detroit, the GM strike is over. So the celebrations are on the way, right? So, the strip clubs are busy, the bars are busy. The police are gonna have a ball tonight with with people driving under the influence, because everybody will feel good that it's finally over. They can get back to work, get back to making money. Christmas is around the corner. Vacation time is coming up, and the factories close, the plants close for 3 weeks out of Christmas or whatever, right? So people are going to be celebrating. I encourage you, and some are even going to start a family tonight if they haven't don't have a family already. But I'm encouraging you. This is for somebody. This is for someone who is at the end of your tether and who is looking for hope. It might not. It might just be you. You could be that person who reached out a couple of days ago, 28 years old, with a family, and did everything right, and still could not get a job. We need to pray for one another. We need to be kinder to one another, because you never know what someone is going through. It's not easy. And sometimes people don't want to hire people because you fear that if they come into the organization, because they're more qualified, they're going to take over your job. But you could be the last stop on the hope chain for someone. Even if it's just for a week or two, you're giving them hope. You're giving them something to hold on to, that everything is going to be all right. So be a champ, be a nice person. Share your gift with someone. Don't quit and don't give up. Still do what you feel that you've been called to do, even while you work full time. Most of us have worked full time while we pursue what we feel we've been called to do, because you need money to fund the dream. And like I shared yesterday, I ended up having to freelance for the last 10 years, and I had to, my standard of living contracted. It went to almost nothing. And I had to learn to apply myself to a different set of circumstances. It's called survival, right? And while it wasn't popular, and while a lot of people left along the way, I'm sure many felt that they were called to be in other spheres, I grew, and I grew to find real time happiness and learned to be happy right where I was. It's Friday evening. I used to be the one hanging out, like I'd be somewhere getting entertained or whatever. Well, when I say hanging out, I've been a minister for over 20 years. So it's not like I was at the club or the bar, but I had more resources so I could go where I wanted to go. So if I felt like going out to eat and taking my family out to eat on a Friday night, that surely was what I would do. I have learned to Netflix and chill. And if possible, and I want some chips with it, then be that as it may. If not, it is what it is, right? So don't look at someone else's life and say, that's the standard that I want. That is how I should live, because you are never going to be happy. You don't know what they're going through. Sometimes people pull a profile gig on you. They pull wool over your eyes. They act like everything is hunky dory. A lot of what it's amazing to me how I see young people, I see women modeling after celebrities, and you want this and you want that. You don't realize most of what they're wearing, they're not buying it. They are being paid to wear it, right? They're being paid to sport a certain hairstyle, wear certain clothes. So they're kind of like they have commodified their bodies. Their bodies are a commodity. The studio says you can't wear that. You need to lose 20 pounds. Go talk to Dr. So and so. And the studio has a doctor, or the record label has a doctor on call. And you go to the doctor, and the doctor performs surgery. And you don't have a choice. They say, this is what you should do. This is the color of your hair. This should be how you wear your hair. And a lot of us don't know what happens behind the scenes. But what we see is the finished product, the end product. It's glassy, it's glossy, and it's shiny and pretty and attractive. And it suckers you in. and you hear it and you like the beat and you go with the beat, right? And so you think this is what life is. Life is not always like that. Life is not always lived on the mountaintop. Life is valleys and peaks, valleys and peaks, valleys and peaks. The people who stay on the mountaintop all the time are high on drugs. And they keep taking the drugs to continually stay high, right? So if you find yourself feeling like it's Friday night, you just got divorced or you just went through a bad breakup, somebody decided to walk on out of your life, maybe they weren't supposed to be there in the first place. Maybe their time is up. Maybe you need to get used to the new you and get used to you and enjoy you. Sit down and watch some Netflix. They have some great programming, some stuff that will keep you entertained. Before you know it, it's 10, 11 o'clock and you're asleep. And you wake up and it's a new day. And you realize, my goodness, I woke up and I didn't find myself in the wrong bed with the wrong person. And I'm not hungover and I'm not high. And I don't have to drive to someone else's house. So give thanks for where you are and pray continually for a release from all the stuff that is holding you back, right? My name is Harriet Cammock. I want to thank you so much for joining me on this extra special edition of Down to Earth. My special guest has been Schantel Thomas. Schantel, you can find her music on Apple, Google, and any music platform anywhere. And she's a singer-songwriter whose sounds is what we would refer to as contemporary Christian, crossover. You hear the beat and it's coming. So for you out there, if you're feeling down, why don't you play some beats? Play the beat, man. Just listen to the beat. Come on, listen to the beat. Do you hear it? Listen to that beat. That beat will wake you up and keep you going. Thanks, everybody. Love you. See you Sunday morning. Remember to join me Sunday morning. We talk about faith and all that good stuff. So join me again on Sunday. Thanks so much, everybody. Be blessed. Be blessed. Have a good Friday night. Thanks so much, everybody. This is Harriet Cammock.